This week on Those Endless Mysteries, the werewolf. The werewolf is one of my favorite mythological creatures of all time. Ever since I was a young man and watched an American werewolf in London, I remember I was scared and on the edge of my seat throughout the movie, waiting and watching. And then came movies such as The Howling. I also enjoyed those as well. And other good movies which featured werewolves as well. As the werewolf movies became more popular, werewolves even began showing up in comic books and pretty much anywhere else that in here in the modern times where anything could be made money on. Anything from action figures to posters to dolls. So yeah, the werewolf is quite popular. But the werewolf goes back way further than Hollywood, that's for sure. We will get into some of the history later on, though. Because first, I would like to go over some pictures I found on the internet that are said to show real werewolves. And later on, we will go into some videos as well. Now, I think these pictures have become known as the fin pictures. It does seem to show a humanoid type creature in them. And it said that these was taken off of a CCTV camera. And to be a CCTV camera, guys, I think these are good pictures. They do look good to me. Just something about the head strikes me as being a little off in this picture, though. It could just be the shadows, though. So, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment down below on this one. Now, the second photo, or what should be the first photo, it looks like to me, does give this creature a very nice profile pic. I could even go as far as to say that this picture looks like it has the head of a raccoon. That's just what the head looks like to me on this one, guys. It looks like a walking raccoon, a very big, large raccoon, but it looks like a raccoon to me. Just seeing the size of this, we know it's not a raccoon. And if it is a raccoon, it's a very large raccoon and it's a monster itself. But let's just keep it as a werewolf for now. But looking at the ears are really surprising me. And the snout from this profile pic. I still see the raccoon, guys. I'm sorry. Y'all drop me a line down below and let me know what y'all see. I mean, I don't see a dog's head there. I see a raccoon's head for some reason. That's what's popping out to me. Now, I do want to dig into the history of the werewolf just a little bit, and I hope you guys find it up to par. And just know we will have some more videos coming up and a few more pictures to talk about. Now, werewolves are said to be found in almost every culture from around the world. They are said to be a human with the power to shapeshift into a wolf, especially in Hollywood movies. In the Hollywood myths, you can be placed under a curse or affliction. The most common way is to be bitten or scratched by a werewolf. In the movies, even the gypsies are also able to curse a man with this affliction. Cursed to wander under a full moon as a wolf. In most folklore, the transformation occurs under the cover of night, during a full moon. Now, the werewolf has many names from around the world, but whatever languages that it is spoken in, the translation seems to always be the same, meaning a wolf man or a man wolf. From old China to the new Americas, these creatures have had their folklore spoken of throughout human history. Take another name, lycanthrope, which came from an old Greek word which I cannot pronounce or even read being in Greek. Now, the folklore of the werewolf became a widespread concept in the medieval times, spreading throughout the European countries, existing in many forms and beliefs. The development of the European folklore was mostly influenced by Christian interpretation. Like with most beliefs in the medieval times, it became a way to dispatch a rival or enemy with just a whisper or rumor about the person, just as in the way witches were pointed out. So were werewolves. Now, doing my research, I found what is said to be the very first trial of a werewolf. It happened in the early 1500s in what's now known as Switzerland, kicking off a wide range of people being persecuted for being a werewolf. From the 1500s to the mid 1800s, when it seems to have stopped, at least the trials. No one can say for sure just how many people were killed over the 300 years. There are some cases that I found, though, like the case of Peter Stump, whose trial back in 1589 led to a significant peak in the persecution of supposed werewolves. The persecution of werewolves went hand in hand with the famous witch hunts of the times. Even though there were fewer werewolf trials than witches, they were trials, and people died. Now, Peter Stump's trial primarily sparked interest in French and German-speaking Europe. This phenomenon lasted the longest in Bavaria and Austria, with the persecution of so-called wolf charmers recorded until after 1650. As far as I can tell, the trials really fell with fewer and fewer until the last reported cases of werewolf trials finally ceased in the early 1800s, as far as I can tell. And the folklore and legends followed the European settlers to the New World as they settled upon the Americas. Here is another photo that is said to be that of a werewolf. Now, this story has been going around the internet. This photo has a couple of stories behind it, but I'm going to stick to the one that seems to make more sense to me. It's said that two hunters were out looking for a deer sign when they came across this body in the woods by a small river. They say that it could be a bear, but it had a couple of things that seemed off to them. One thing that stood out to them was that the snout was more like a dog than a bear, and that the back legs seemed to be more human in the way they were shaped. The creature does seem to have fingers on its front paw. Now, I said paw because I'm just not convinced that it's a hand. But what looks like fingers are definitely there. With this creature being dead, and with the moisture leaving its body, I can see how the skin might be throwing back and making it look like fingers. I don't know if that's what's happening or not, but you have to stay open-minded on these things. You have to look at it as it's a werewolf at first, then back up, then look at it as if it's a dead animal and try to figure it out. But even with a couple of things being a little off, I personally think I'm looking at a bear here. So you guys drop me a comment down below and let me know what y'all think about this one. I would love to hear some of y'all's comments. Okay, guys, now we have a video coming up. This video is said to have been taken during World War II by a German patrol. It's not known if they only took the video of the creature, or did they take the creature to be studied somewhere as well. That we may never know. It's a cool video though. It looks canine right off the bat, but I can see some feline in it as well in certain frames. It does look to be at least human size or maybe a little bigger. It also seems to be a female creature. Now, I took some stills out of this video so we could get a better look at the creature. With this first still, I noticed something right off the bat. Looking at the legs of the creature, they do look humanoid to me. They seem to bend as you would think a bipedal creature would. You can also get the feel for how big it is as well, with the soldiers standing around it. Now, here in this next still is where I can see some feline qualities, I think. I see it in the claws, the way they fold inwards. Cats will curl in like that. It helps them to climb. I also see it in the short snout of this creature. It doesn't scream dog to me, but maybe a cat. You can also see in this still that it is definitely a female, at least what appears to be breasts are shown. Well, at least that's what I think I'm seeing. So y'all guys give me a comment down below on this as well. Okay, now this last still I wanted to bring up gives you the headshot. And what a headshot it is. Scary. Looks like the eyes have been bleached out by the sun. So that tells me it's been dead for a little while. That could explain why the teeth look so deformed as well. Its gums may have shrank due to dehydration. So if this one is a real video of this creature, it's a good one, showing some humanoid type creature. So what do you guys think? So what do you say we go into some of the most recent sightings of werewolves? Some of the most famous sightings coming out of the United States is from southeastern Wisconsin, known as the Bray Road Beast. Now the beast has been famous around these parts for some time now, having books and stories written about him. He's said to be a werewolf creature. He's seen mostly around the Bray Road area, hence the name. Back on October 31st, 1999, Doris Jean Gibson reported she had hit something with her car while she was traveling on Bray Road near the town of Delavan. When she got out of the car to search for the animal she thought she had struck, she stopped as she saw a large hairy beast coming at her. She said she jumped back into the car and barely escaped. There have been many sightings of the Bray Road Beast over the years, and this is just one of them. Then you have the Michigan Dogman sightings also. The sightings of the Dogman date way back to the 1800s, when lumberjacks of the area started describing a creature they were seeing. They were said to be a very hairy beast with a dog's head, but it walked and had a human type body. But these sightings aren't limited just to the United States. They are sightings all over the world. Just to mention a few countries, you got Scotland, England, Germany, Russia. It's just to name a few, where sightings have been said to take place often. These sightings are often terrifying and confusing to the witnesses, mainly because you have just seen something that you know don't exist. But then there it is, right in front of you. You see it, you try to process it, but it can be hard to process what you're taking in. I do believe all these people that have said they've seen something, but what they've seen, I don't know. But for most people that have seen these creatures, it has changed their lives and not for the better. Nothing but ridicule from some of their best friends and family, but yet they stand solid on what they saw. So next time when someone tells you a wild story, remember that it was real to them. They may have some trouble with the details, but really, who wouldn't after seeing something that cannot exist? Having something pushed right into your mind as it's fighting what it's taking in. Your mind don't want to see or hear what you are. Sometimes it just won't take everything in. So getting really good sightings are hard because some people just don't take everything in. So their minds give them a little wiggle room so that they can process it as being something else, something different, not exactly what they've seen. It's a good defense we humans have. But some people does take everything in, and these are the ones that get hurt the most by seeing these creatures. Mainly because they know what they saw and that it couldn't be anything else. At least to them, they are so sure of what they have seen. They feel the need to tell other people as well. So often being made fun of by their friends and family. So yes, I'll stand with them and will never make fun of any story that comes my way. So just keep reporting what you see out there, guys. And remember to like and subscribe down below and hit that notification button to stay up to date with all our latest videos. And there will be plenty more werewolf stories coming. We are just scratching the surface.